Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant. They aren't affected by tariffs because their clothing products never left the U.S. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised. Hey Jason, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Do you like my new haircut?
I do.
You like the mohawk? I mean, I had to get a mohawk. Because as we learned on this episode, if you got crazy hair, you could just basically do anything, man. You can break into a toy store, you can yell at children and break their spirits and crush their Christmas dreams. I mean, you got bad hair, you rule the world.
This guy didn't have a mohawk, though.
Yeah, I know. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't get a mohawk. That was just us joshing, as they say. But you're gonna hear me rant about some hairstyles here on this episode of Mattalk. But in all seriousness, you doing all right, Jason?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing well.
How is the house coming along?
It is. Unpacking sucks. I've more or less got the upstairs where I need it to be. So now I'm working downstairs. I painted a wall in the basement last weekend. Getting ready to start setting up the Three Geeks area. No, I painted it blue.
Oh, I thought maybe you was going to build in your own green screen.
Maybe someday. I'm just really marveling at my new HD camera.
Yes, even though this is audio only, you look sharp, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. You know, I fixed my laptop the other day. I was very proud of myself, speaking of computer technology. I had to add some new thermal paste to the processor and the heat shield. All right, well, we have an interesting and holiday-themed episode of Mattalk to discuss. So, Jason, should we just go ahead and jump on into it?
Let's do it.
All right, it's time for our opening statements. All right, the episode is entitled The Scrooge, and its original air date is December 19th, 1989. And we have some interesting guest stars, Jason. So I'm going to start off with one that I think maybe it surprised the heck out of me. I think it's going to surprise the heck out of you. And it was funny because we also made a small comment in our text messages back and forth this afternoon. But our first guest star is Larenz Tate. You might know him from his role in the show as Street Kid number 3, and also the only kid that asked for a lawyer, and which makes us question his character. But anyways, you may know Larenz Tate as Councilman Tate in the Power television show, which now has like a bunch of different offshoots like Law and Order. He was also Julian Stevens in Girls Trip, Bart Johnson on the TV show Rescue Me, Quincy Jones in the movie Ray, O-Dog in Menace to Society, and a truckload of other credits to his name.
Wow, the kid who took the card from Mattalk is in some pretty big stuff.
Yeah, and he was 14 at the time, apparently. So, I mean, I know the name Larenz Tate. I'm familiar with a lot of these projects that he's done, and I never put two and two together. All right, let's talk about another individual. His name is Ron Hale. Ron Hale will be playing the role of Eldon Williams, but you may also know him as Frank Sturgis in All the President's Men, Dr. Roger Coleridge on Ryan's Hope, and Mike Corbin on General Hospital and Port Charles. So Ron Hale seemed to spend a lot of time in those daytime soap opera worlds. In fact, I think he's got like almost 900 episodes of General Hospital and like 40 or 50 some of Port Charles, which I know many of you probably are questioning, what is Port Charles? Port Charles was actually a spinoff of General Hospital, which I did not know.
Actually, it's 230 episodes of General Hospital. He was in 900 episodes of Ryan's Hope.
Oh, okay. I got those backwards. Yeah, Ryan's Hope was like a medical soap opera, I think, back in the 70s. Yeah, he's put together a pretty good resume. Well, let's move on to Peter Michael Getz. He'll be playing the role of Stephen Abbott, but you may also know him as Mr. Page in Jumpin' Jack Flash, Francis George Shaw in Glory, Dr. Welty in My Girl, Dr. Dennis Murphy on The Practice, Principal Adams on The Faculty, John McKenzie in Father of the Bride 1 and 2, and he also has a truckload of credits that we could spend another 20 minutes talking about.
Oh my gosh, this dude is in some stuff. He's still around, too.
He still is around. And he's got the worst hair in this episode ever, but we'll get to that in a few minutes.
It looks like that's a pretty big theme in his life. But he was in Home Improvement. I know this guy from a lot of stuff. I still have PTSD from My Girl.
Is My Girl the one with Macaulay Culkin and what's her name? Anna
Chomsky, who's been in some really good stuff lately.
Really? Like what?
She was on Veep.
Oh, okay.
She was also on, I want to say she was, hold on, I don't want to fact check that real quick. But yeah, no, she's definitely been on a comeback trail, because I know she quit acting. She was in Inventing Anna, which was really good.
Okay. Huh, she's back at it, because I thought she had retired.
She did. She quit acting for a long, long time, and I think Veep was her big comeback.
Cool. Excellent. All right, you're going to buckle yourself in for this one. Our last guest star. You're going to, as we say in wrestling, you're going to pop hard for this one. Brooke That means you're going to be very excited. So get your minds out of the gutter, people. Our last.
That's what I thought you meant, John. I thought you meant I'd be excited.
Our final guest star is Brooke Bundy. She'll be playing the role of Sherry Lister. You may know her as Diana Taylor on General Hospital, Rebecca North in Days of Our Lives. Jason, here we go. Elaine Parker in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. He's speechless, ladies and gentlemen. He's speechless.
I want to reach out to her. Like, I'm looking at this. Like, I think she's gettable for us to do an interview with her.
Okay. All right. I'll leave you in charge of that.
Yes. I was hoping one of these guest stars would have been on Magnum PI, so I could tell you that I recently watched an episode of Murder, She Wrote that had Magnum PI in it.
As Thomas Magnum?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, and my synopsis on it is I kind of want to check out some Magnum PI.
Magnum PI is solid. It's fun. It's solid. I think underappreciated is Higgins. I think he's very underappreciated. I forget the actor who played that character, but I think he does a fantastic job and is overlooked sometimes.
And they really reminded me how much I like Tom Selleck.
Yeah, it's a really good show. And a nice car, a sweet car, which we need to talk about this real quickly. Side note, real quick, folks, a little side story. We have never talked about it. Jason, what's your opinion on who has the better car in Mattalk? Is it Conrad McMasters or is it Tyler Hudson?
I haven't really noticed his Conrad's car, so I'm going to go with Tyler.
Dude, it's the Ford Mustang. It's a classic, dude.
I'm not a car guy.
I know you're not, but all right. I think the Mustang trumps the LeBaron. Sorry for all the Chrysler fans out there, but
now my question to you, and this is a very serious question, and I think we should have this debate. This doesn't really have anything to do with Matlock, but it's in the moment. So, who is the bigger television actor? Is it Tom Selleck or Ted Danson?
Oh, Tom Selleck, hands down.
Tom Selleck has had 2 hit shows. Ted Danson goes from hit show to hit show to hit show, though.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out. Then excuse my ignorance. Cheers, Becker. That's the only 2 shows that I know.
Cheers, Becker, The Good Place. He was in one recently. He was on CSI for a long time. Like Ted Danson just always seems to be in a hit television series. More recently, The Mayor, I think, was pretty big, pretty popular. He's in Curb Your Enthusiasm. CSI, like I said, he's in so much stuff.
Well, what about Magnum PI or Tom Selleck? I keep calling him Magnum PI.
Magnum PI is big, but is it bigger than Cheers? Like, I'm working on this theory that Ted Danson is the biggest television star ever.
Okay, I would say probably Cheers would be a bigger show than Magnum PI because I think it has more appeal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a comedy, so I think comedy appeals to more people than like action adventure sometimes.
But I want to hear what our audience thinks. Hit me up. Let me know if my theory that I'm working on is true. Is Ted Danson the biggest TV star we've ever had? Email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can hit us up on Twitter. We are at Mattalk_podcast and on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast.
Maybe biggest star is the wrong choice. Maybe most successful in television.
Or you can also throw in who had the better car, Tyler or Conrad. You can throw that in for me. Jason, with that out of the way, it's time for you to answer the question of the episode. Are you willing to give an opinion, your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
La 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 la. Yes,
All right. It's time to testify. All right. Woo! The plot, ladies and gentlemen, is a crusty toy store owner is accused of killing his business partner. I like that IMDb used the adjective crusty. They also use the adjective old, and I cut old because I'm like, I don't think this guy's that old. So
you gotta let me read the Amazon synopsis of this.
Okay.
You just reminded me. So it says the senseless murder of a toy store owner not only clouds the Christmas spirit, but threatens an annual party and gifts of toys to local orphans. Ben Matlock reluctantly agrees to defend the victim's partner, Steve Abbott, but it isn't easy. Not only is Matlock's client a Scrooge-like businessman, and this is my favorite part, but the list of other possible suspects is awesome.
Wait, is that from a viewer?
This is the official synopsis on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Like,
you know what?
Not only is Matlock's client a Scrooge-like businessman, but the list of other possible suspects is awesome. What's so awesome about them? I don't understand.
You know what? We should probably read other people's reviews of episodes just to see how far off we are. That actually, you know what? We might do that here in the next couple episodes. I'd like to do that. I think that would be hilarious. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our opening scene is obviously a Christmas tree with presents around it and a train going around and around. And then we get an exterior shot of a shopping area. And everyone is kind of dressed for winter, but there's no snow because obviously it's Atlanta, Georgia, and snow is not something that they get, which I think takes away a little bit from this episode, just a little bit, because I'm a traditionalist. I like to see snow on the ground for Christmas. What say you, Jason?
Either way is fine.
Really? Snow or no snow? You don't care?
No. I mean, they saw the rest of the Christmas spirit stuff. I mean, I guess snow would be the preference, but...
Okay. Well, we see a couple that is kind of arguing with one another. It's Carl and his wife, Sherry. And I also put down in the background there are kids that are panhandling. And Carl starts talking to a guy, and they get into a heated exchange. And we later find out, within a few minutes, that Eldon, which is his brother-in-law, was hitting him up for money, and he refused to give him it. So Carl arrives at the store. He comes in, and his business partner, Steve, arrives, and he's kind of a little bit upset about some of the changes that Carl had done, such as updating the PA system, also having Christmas music and paying for a Santa Claus, and that's affecting the bottom line, and Steve's not about that. But what he is about is having hair that looks like it's from the 1770s. I'm telling you right now, Thomas Jefferson will be rolling over in his grave if he saw this hair that this guy's sporting. I mean, geez, Pete. God, that was ugly.
It didn't bother me. Like, I didn't even notice the hair.
Dude, how can you not? You, of all people, because you said one time on this podcast, like, shave it. If you're going bald up here, shave it. Instead, Steve Abbott has this weird mullet, but it's got like a flip up tail. Oh God, it's horrible. That could have never been, ever been in style in the 1980s.
Probably not. There's a lot of things in the 80s that were out of style. This is the
So-
90s, right? We're into the 90s on this show,
Well,
right?
it's 89 technically still
Okay.
for a few more weeks. But yeah, I mean, we're getting close to the 90s. And even then, that hair was not appropriate. No. Go to a barber and get that thing clipped.
Have a barber kill that thing on the back of your head. It's coming alive. And it's not Peter Frampton.
So we also find out that Stuart, Carl's brother, wants to get a job, and he's going to come over and talk to Carl at the store. All right. And Steve continues to just throw a temper tantrum that, this nun shows up with the orphans. She wants to get, particular toys from Carl and Steve. And Steve is like, no, we're not giving you the broken toys this year. We're sending them back to the manufacturer and getting store credit. Here's my question. Like, I know they're orphans and they don't have anything, right? Like, I get that. But Carl, you going to give them broken toys? What a crock of crap.
Like, seriously, if you can return them for store credit, return them for store credit and give the kids something nice.
Yeah!
It's a tax write-off anyway.
These orphans, I'm just going to say, are kind of mistreated a lot in this episode, because there's one line, and I texted you this earlier today. There's a line later in the episode that I'm like, good God almighty, how heartless is that statement? But we'll get there in due time. So Steve just finally has had enough, and he erupts. He fires Santa in front of the children. He throws everybody out of the store. And so it causes a big ruckus, if you will. So we cut to another scene where it's after hours, and Donna, the cashier, and Carl, they kind of share a moment. Donna tries to make him feel better about the whole situation and everything. And so Carl said, well, I'm going to finish up. You can go on home. So Carl is trimming the Christmas tree when all of a sudden he is stabbed and is killed. And Steve arrives a short time later and finds the body, and a little African-American kid is looking through the window and calls for his mother as they see Steve standing over the body. Breaking your cardinal rule number 1, Jason.
Don't touch the body. One of the things I noticed in this episode that we haven't had in this episode is we get to Ben quickly.
Yes, we do. There's a very short amount of exposition, and we're right into talking about Ben. As a matter of fact, then the very next scene is at Ben's office when Conrad arrives with a bunch of presents. Julie shows up and invites everyone to the Christmas party. Ben reveals that he is going to do all of the Christmas things that usually he waits till the last minute to buy gifts. He doesn't attend parties. He sometimes, doesn't do all the things that are related to Christmas, but he's going to fix it. He's going to do it this year.
All single guy stuff. All single guy stuff. And then married guys let their wife or spouse buy the gifts. So, I mean, this is very relatable.
Okay. All right. There you go. I guess I have not been able to look at my own life and reflect on my gift giving over the holidays. I guess you're
an enigma, John. You got everything. You probably already Christmas shop for the next 12 years.
I actually have my mother done. Yeah, I have my mom's Christmas stuff done. And
you still, make her art projects out of pasta.
I do. Funny you mentioned that. I actually do. I make various different collages as well out of old magazines. My scrapbooking stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does she have a wall to John on her in her house?
No.
How old is your son? Did he just make this for you? Yeah, I got it for Christmas last year. Oh, how old is he? He's almost 50. Is he special needs? No, he's actually does things. Yeah.
He's typically normal, as we like to say. Well, Ben and Conrad are going to have a boys' night out. They're going to go to Ray Templin's. They're going to have a few drinks and whatnot. But then when we got to the next scene, Conrad's there all by himself. And he sees Ace sing a wonderful rendition of some Christmas carols, which I don't know about you, but I think Ace can't carry a tune in a bucket.
No. And hearing Don Knotts talk, I'm not surprised.
Yes. So basically, Conrad laments that Ben went to go see this client, who is obviously Steve Abbott. Here's the one thing, too, I got to pick on Ace for. Man, does he love to spread rumors. Oh, yeah, he killed his dog. And then he killed his wife. And then, blah, 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 blah. And then, them down the street. Like, he's quite the busybody, is he not?
Yeah, Ace, he's everywhere. He's like that friend in high school that, he's all right, like in small doses. But the problem is he's always there. Yes. Like, you'll be talking to another friend, and this friend will be nowhere near you, and you'll be like, all right, so we'll meet over at Wendy's, grab a bite to eat, and we'll go to the movies. And then suddenly he's there, and he's like, I can't wait to go to Wendy's and check out the movie with you guys. It's going to be fun. Can you pick me up? And then you're like, yeah, I can pick you up. And then they're with you all weekend because they won't leave you alone, and all you need is like an hour break because, they're just a bit much. Mm-hmm. But, they always find a way to be around, and that's what Ace Calhoun reminds me of.
Again, relatable. Totally relatable.
Yeah, I know you. When you laughed, I could tell you had that friend in high school that was around a little too much that you still liked.
I did. So we go to police headquarters. Ben is interviewing Steve, and while he's doing that, we get this nice little cutaway to Donna giving her side of the story. And then we cut back to Steve and Ben. Steve, apparently his prints are on a letter opener. And Steve also is another person that likes to reveal all the dirty laundry of Carl and his wife. The little African-American kid and his mom are being interviewed by Bob Brooks. Again, they recant what they have just said, or recapped, just what they said earlier. So Ben rips Steve a new one, causing him to have to pay $125,000 instead of the $100,000 because he's such a jerk. Steve still argues a little bit with Ben. So our next scene, we see Conrad arriving at the toy store, and he is talking to Steve. And
I gotta ask, John. This came up when I was watching Mattalk earlier, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, and I think it's a load of crap. But if somebody is accused of murder and then they're found innocent, they're still responsible for paying their defense fees, right? They don't get compensation back for that, which is BS in my opinion. I think you should get compensated for your defense fund. Especially if you're an innocent guy, like that's like somebody just robbed a bunch of money from you.
Yeah, no, you got to pay for your defense attorney.
That just blows my mind. Like I said, I knew the answer. I knew that was the answer. It's just really shocking to me. Like, yeah, guys, I didn't do it. Like I've been telling you that from the beginning. I was gone. There's video evidence of me gone, and I still have to pay all this money to this defense lawyer because I can't get a crappy one, or I'll be sitting in jail for 20 years and only get $20,000 compensation when they let me out once they realize I didn't do it.
Which is a flashback to a conversation we had on last episode, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, you have to pay, man. You have to pay the piper, so to speak.
But I know, like lawsuits and stuff, you can get that built into the lawsuit, but I didn't know if like criminal stuff there was a way. But fascinating. I guess you could sue the department afterwards. Sure,
you could do that. I like how Conrad wants to buy a train. And he's talking to Steve, and Steve flat out tells him, "You're too old." What kind of salesmanship is that? Dude,
it was a different time back then, man.
No, but they talk about the train itself, the first car, the engine, right, is like $300. I'm like, dude, don't insult your clientele. Let them buy what they want to buy, dude. Anyways, Steve claims that he came back when he found the body. He had come back because he wanted to get the broken toys so he could ship them back. He says that he has a key. Eldon, the sister, even Mrs. Lister could have had. They all have keys, all right, to the store. So it could have been any of them that could have had an opportunity to enter. Steve fires Donna because she spoke to the police. And then Stuart shows up at the store, and he wants to start, quote, helping out, end quote, Steve at the store. Okay. Rant number 2. Who thought that Stuart's hair was appropriate either? Like, seriously, do they not have anybody? They have hair and makeup on set. Somebody said, oh, yeah, you look fine, man. You look fine. To the guy that played Stuart. You have to agree with me on that one. Shave it. Shave it. Shave it, because it looked ridiculous.
I don't know, man. None of them offended me.
I'm offended.
You're offended for both of us?
Yes, that's why I said it twice. I'm offended for both of us. Unbelievable. All right, Stuart talks with Conrad, and he has some stupid, lame alibi that just sounds ridiculous. So Ben and Conrad have a meeting on the sidewalk, and this is where Ben interacts with the kids panhandling, right? The orphans. So he questions them, hey, have you seen anything? And so he gives out his business card and says, hey, look, you see anything in exchange, I will give you legal help for the next time you have a problem. So the kids are acting kind of like lookouts. So then we go back to Templin's bar in the next scene where Ace and Ben are talking about Christmas shopping, because guess what? Ben hasn't done any. And so Ace agrees that he will do it for him. Would you, Jason, trust Ace Calhoun to buy your Christmas gifts for you?
No. Well, I don't know. There is a side of me that, is goofy and likes to have fun. I know that Ace is going to come up with the worst Christmas gifts ever. So there's like a part of me, like the jokey side of me, that would love to have him go and buy like these awful, awful, awful Christmas presents so I can give them out and then giggle as it's happening. So I'm kind of torn on whether or not I would but a normal person, I don't think they'd let Ace go shopping for them.
I would not let Ace go shopping for me either, because I think he would end up like, oh, here's a 6-pack of Sprite. Like, that's a Christmas gift. Really? A 6-pack
No,
of Sprite?
Yeah, I think he's going goofier than that.
You think even more ridiculous than that?
Like, if Ace Calhoun was around when Amazon was around, like, you know how they make those fake empty box things? I think he'd buy a bunch of those.
Ooh. Oh, what about the singing bass fish? You know, have one of those.
Yeah. He probably has 30 of those. Yeah.
He's bought a few of those and given those as gift. Yeah. See, ladies and gents, nope. Calhoun does not get the shop for me. All right. So the next scene that we see is Eldon meeting with a loan shark at this seedy bar, and Ben shows up to interview Eldon. Eldon's alibi was he's watching some boxing match when the murder happened, so he couldn't have done it. So we cut back to the store where the orphans see someone trying to enter the toy store. So a chase ensues, but the kids do end up losing him or her, whoever the suspect is that was trying to break into the toy store. So then we have a sing-along with the crew while decorating the office, and all of them give their theories so far as to what's going on with the case. I kind of liked Ben's antics with the garland. I found that they gave me a chuckle, how he was just like daintily throwing it on there and then throws it, and Michelle gets like angry at him and looks.
It was nice seeing Michelle make a cameo in the show.
Oh, now, come on now. I know it's been a minute, but come on now.
Yeah, man, I have Mattalk replaying right now, and dude's hair is just messy. Like, I don't think it's that bad. That's pretty common for older guys to have that haircut.
Well, older guys that didn't want to go out on dates, for sure. Anyways.
Well, he was very grumpy. He's not going on any dates anyway.
Well, Mrs. Lister is interviewed by Michelle at the hair salon, and her alibi is that she was in the arms of another man. And so then we cut to a scene where the orphans tell Ben about their adventure. And Ben was like, why didn't you call me? And they were like, we didn't have any quarters. So
okay, the brother-in-law's haircut is worse. He's got a widow's peak that doesn't connect to anything. It's like an island on its own. So yeah, no, that guy needs to go. It's Your like Honor? Just a little like thing here, and then it's bald. Yeah, no, we got to get rid of that.
Your Honor, I rest my case. So basically, the kids, the orphans, they get some money from Ben. And then Ben walks in the store, and Eldon is there trying to sell his wife's half of the store. And Ben's like, dude, you can't do that. That is an inheritance. You cannot do that unless you have permission. And so he leaves. Steve and Ben talk about Christmas, and Ben kind of coaches up Steve to say, hey, look, you want to impress the jury? You can't be Mr. Sourpuss in there. All right. You got to hide it. Hide it the best that you can. So I thought that was pretty good. We go to the courtroom, and the African-American kid is on the stand. And guess who gets her opportunity to shine bright? Michelle Thomas gets to
Yeah,
handle
and
this
her
cross.
guest spot on this episode. She did a fantastic job interviewing this kid. I feel like the prosecution might have been a little bit more forceful with like objections and so forth, but no, I thought she did really good. I thought she handled the scene very well.
What it comes down to is the kid didn't actually see the murder; he just saw the repercussions of it. So,
which we kind of figured.
Yeah. So we cut to another scene where someone's trying to break into the store, and the orphans, man, they drop some whoop ass on that person, don't they? They tackle him and gang up on him, and later we find out it's old Stuart. Stuart and your stupid hair.
Yeah, Mattalk has little vigilantes working for him.
Yeah, I know. He's got his own goon squad. Well, basically, Stuart was going to go take money out of the register so that he could pay his bail because he's got an ironclad alibi for the night of the murder. He's in jail because he had a lot of speeding tickets and parking tickets. He got another one and got pinched, and so he had to pay the bailsman. That's why he was going to steal the money. Here we go. This, to me, is the most shocking statement in this episode. Basically, Steve takes the keys from the store and throws Stuart out. And what does Ben Mattalk say out loud? He says, "Boys, you might as well go home too." They're orphans, Ben! They don't have a home! How cruel! How mean-spirited, Ben!
But don't they have an orphanage?
I mean, I guess technically that's their home, but that, like, you might as well go home, like, as if, oh, your parents are waiting for you. Oh, you don't have any because you're orphans. Terrible.
Well, he did give one of them a $5 bill.
Well, yeah. Here, kid, here's a 5 spot.
I thought he was going to hand out business cards to the rest of the kids.
Werther's Originals, because you know Ben Mattalk loves Werther's Originals.
Pull out hot dogs. Here, kids, here's some extra hot dogs I've had in my pocket all day.
You want some relish on those hot dogs? I got
think
some
it'd
right
be
here in
fun
my pocket.
one day for us to do a riff tracks of one of these episodes we watch. I've got a few in mind that would be fun to do.
All right. Well, Michelle arrives at the office, and Sherry Lister's alibi checks out. Conrad, and I don't think anybody caught it continuity-wise. What does Conrad say? He gets off the phone and he goes, "Oh yeah, Stuart was in prison." Really, they take their speeding tickets awful seriously in Georgia. If you're going to prison, I think he just went to county. He went to the jail. He didn't really go to prison. Could you imagine if you were in prison? What are you in for? Speeding tickets? What are you in for? Double homicide? Like, that's not going to go well for you. So we go back to the courtroom, and Ben gives Steve an amendment to their contract, which I was shocked that Steve didn't seem to read it. He just signed it blindly. He's awful trusting of Ben Mattalk.
Yeah, he is.
Eldon's on the stand, and his gambling debts are brought to light. His wife wants a divorce. I like that Ben argues a little bit with the prosecutor, who objects to the relevancy of it. So basically, Eldon's trying to sell his wife's half of the store so he can pay off his debts to the loan sharks. And oh God, as if we didn't have enough pictures in the last episode, we have a bunch of pictures here. So these pictures are going to show that there's something missing from the counter, and it is a digital date book. And what do you know? Eldon has a digital date book too, because Ben saw it when they met in the bar. And so I like how Ben demands that he empties his pockets, and the judge goes along with it too. And we find out that Eldon produces a digital date book from his pocket with a serial number that matches the one that was stolen from the toy shop. And I like Ben quipped, "You can bet on it." Oh, sick burn, Ben. Sick burn. And then we go to our final scene in the episode where Steve has to be Santa. We assume that that's what he agreed to in writing. But why are there kids in the bar?
Why not?
I mean, it's Templin's place.
Yeah.
Well, you mean you can't find somewhere else to have this little shindig?
Sure. The bar is a perfect place to have a shindig for kids.
And by the way, Ben's explanation of Santa was pretty weak, too. It was whack.
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
Most of the explanations for Santa that parents give kids is whack.
Okay. All right. Well, Jason, is there anything else you gotta run down or want to talk about real quick, or shall we jump into the closing statements part?
Let's jump into our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means that the show was absolutely abysmal. 5 gavels means it was absolutely amazing. Negative 20 gavels means that we have quit the show and are moving to Canada. John, how many gavels do you give the show?
You always impress me with that last one. I mean, very good. We're moving to Canada. Anyways, I gave it a 5. I really couldn't find much to complain about other than the hairstyles and and the mistreatment of the orphans, which again, it was not that bad. So, I like that this was a good twist on the Christmas Carol / Scrooge. I like that. I felt that the crime was pretty simple but yet effective. It worked. The resolution was neatly done. And we got a heavy dose of Michelle and Conrad. So I couldn't find any faults whatsoever. I give it 5. Jason, how about you?
I agree with you to the point where if this was any other season, this show would have been a 5. But since it's season 4, and this season just has been so spectacular at setting up the crime beforehand and really giving us that rich history and then getting to Mattalk in the courtroom and stuff, I demote this episode down to a 4.5 as far as the standards for season 4 has been. So that's my rating, 4.5. If it was any other season, it would definitely be a 5. But season 4 has been so much better than this episode, and that mildly disappointing because I've really dug the intro and the getting to know the killers, I guess, a little bit better and having those, knowing the suspects more too. But that's where I am.
Okay. All right. Well, Jason, what's going on with the Three Geeks podcast as we start?
We are off until Monroe Fest is over, so we'll be back, I think, on the 22nd. But we're going to be in Monroe, Michigan on the 15th and 16th, hanging out with our buddies from the FSF Popcast and our friend from Staunch Ambition. And then there's also going to be, that guy that's around too much from the PVD cast, John Orlando, is also going to be.
Hey! Not cool, man. Not cool.
I'm just kidding. I can't wait. It's always a fun time hanging out with you guys, so I'm excited.
I am looking forward to the Monroe Pop Fest as well. If you happen to be in southern Michigan, Monroe, Michigan is right there, right before you would cross to come into Ohio. You should come on out. It's a great comic book convention, a pop culture convention. Actually, there's going to be a couple of folks there.
It's only 5 days away from the time you guys hear this, so get those tickets and come hang out with us.
Absolutely. Just Google Monroe Pop Fest. It'll be the first thing that pops up in Google. Grab a ticket. Come out Friday. Come out Saturday. Come out both days. It's a blast. Gary runs one heck of a comic book convention, or pop culture convention, a pop festival, if you will. And he does a great job. So we're excited to be up there.
Yeah, one of the things I really dig about this show in particular is it's not just pop figures and it's not just comic books. There's a very, very nice variety of some horror. I have a feeling it's going to be more horror maybe than last year too. So definitely come out because the variety is there.
Absolutely. As for myself and the PVD cast, pvdcast.com is where you can find my podcast or through all those major podcasting outlets. This week, as you're hearing to my voice right now, I sat down and spoke to a toy maker from Columbus, Ohio, Tim Ellis. He has Giant Leap Toys, and he is doing an old school, homage, if you will. He's creating basically a Shogun Warriors action figure called Shogun Force. It's 24 inches. It's got all kinds of sweet attachments to it. You need to check out the episode. It's got a Kickstarter going on. You can get all the details. Just listen to the episode over at pvdcast.com or wherever you find podcasts. All right. With that being said, Jason, we've gone a little bit long, so let's wrap this up, shall we?
I'm so glad we're not moving to Canada. Everybody, you guys have a wonderful day.
And as they say in court, nothing further. The following is a joint production of the Three Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC. Copyright 2023.